Okay. Number 7, that's a good one. It's a good win. It's a well-coached football team, played really well, good on defense. Again, we sputtered here and there a little bit, but it was good to see us score at the end. Put some first downs together. I don't know what we had, 200-plus yards rushing, nearly 100 yards in the air. A little bit of a unique game, especially with Mother Nature trying to be involved early in the game. Probably wetter than what I anticipated. You saw the ball on the ground a little bit, probably impacted us, then cleared up at halftime. I think it was a lot easier, ball handling and all that. But again, opportunity to win 7, that's good. Got another home game next week. We'll be excited to get going back to work tomorrow.
Coach, talk about the patience of a game like this when you see it develop the way it develops, low-scoring game, the weather it goes. How patient do you have to be as a coaching staff?
Well, I think you just got to understand the value of field position. We had a couple things dialed up that maybe we wish we would have gone to, but with the way the weather was, all of a sudden there's another element of that you really can't be in charge of with Mother Nature, and it was raining pretty good for a while. And even towards the end of the game, just the heavy ball. Thought about kicking a field goal. But all of a sudden you're kicking a waterlogged ball. It doesn't travel as well, kind of dead, doesn't jump off the kicker's foot. So felt like probably just better to go for it on 4th down late in the game and try to continue to utilize some clock and eat up some time.
From the defensive standpoint, one completion in the first half from their passing side, really frustrated that Wyoming side. I don't know if they got to 100 total yards. So what was the key element in the defensive performance?
Well, I think, right now I think those kids are having fun playing football. You see it every day. They got great energy. We're playing a lot of people, so there's a lot of people that are engaged on a weekly basis. Probably playing 8 to 10 D linemen. We're playing 4 linebackers, a ton of guys in the secondary, and then of course their special teams roles that they have as well. So I just think they're feeding off one another. Let's find out how good we can really be. But the only way to do that is show up every day and have great practice. And Coach Benedetto and the defensive staff are really locked in, doing a great job of not giving them so much that logs them down or slows them down, but just enough where they can play fast and challenge offenses every week.
And then on the offensive side, seemed to get stronger as the game got along a little bit.
Well, we jumped out really quick. Had a great first series, went down and scored, and had them on their heels a little bit. And again, Aaron does a great job with them. Jay's a defensive-minded head coach, and so we knew it was going to be tough sledding at times. We just, again, too many 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12, just being off schedule slightly. But it was good to see us continue, complimentary football. Never a panic on our offensive side because we knew, defensively we were going to handle our business, and special teams did a good night, especially when you're dealing with the weather the way it was.
Coach, could you speak a little further on the art of complimentary football and field position, winning these games 2 in a row by a decent margin, but not a lot of yards? How do you get the team on the same page to do that?
Well, I think one, you talk about just the value of it and show them examples. Monday I do a period in here where we do call it TNT, takes no talent, and it's more just about learning the game of football, giving them the details, but also them understanding that, hey, stacking a couple first downs, punting, backing up our opponent, that's good football, because eventually we're going to come out ahead in field position. We're going to be able to kick a field goal. We're going to get up 10-3. All of a sudden we're going to be able to start to apply some pressure, because we're playing the long game. We're playing that patient game, and making people have to beat us in all 3 phases.
What's your assessment of Carson within the context of playing in that style?
Better. We got to continue to grow. I don't have stats in front of me, but I know what a big time throw and catch at the end of the game. Those are things that we've seen in practice and that we're excited about. Hopefully we can continue to build off it.
Thank you.
Coach, just 3 penalties this game. How disciplined did you see the team?
Well, that was something that we wanted to emphasize. The last time when we played Boise, we had 7. I think we had like 12 penalties total, maybe 11, but 7 of them were administrative. So it was something that we wanted to address. I thought we were better than that. And again, anytime you have those administrative penalties, you're beating yourself. You're making it difficult to win games, and it's hard enough to win games just the way it is. So if we can eliminate that, not pour energy into our opponent, we'll have a chance to continue to move the football.
And what have you seen out of Titus Kajabi the last couple of games when his number's being called?
He's steady, really good player. Probably more athletic than what I gave him credit for when I first got here. Coming off the edge, making that sack he had, that's a one-on-one tackle in space. That's a tough deal for when you have a Mike linebacker that can move like him. And Titus is he's not afraid to put his face mask on you either. So he's a physical cat too. So, fits in really well with what we do. And he has to be kind of the quarterback of what we're doing defensively, especially with our front four.
Good evening, Coach.
How we doing?
Good. You mentioned how the line of scrimmage is going to decide this game.
Yep.
How do you feel about how you guys did up front today?
I thought a pretty accurate statement. I mean, when you can run for 200 plus yards, eat up some clock. I don't know what time of possession was tonight, but I got to believe that we probably won it because there was a number of 3 and outs and some turnovers late in the game that probably skewed that number. But there's things I'm sure we can continue to rep. They did a really good job of taking away some of our tight end side run game. You saw that in that 4th down play that they had to stop on. And then you saw us late in the game. We kind of went to some misdirection stuff back to the open side. We scored that big touchdown with Jonathan Arsenault. Had some big runs because they were tipping their front to the tight end.
Do you think the elements play to your advantage at all, knowing you wanted to keep the ball on the ground?
No, probably not, because they played in the same ones that we did, and they're wired very similar to us. They want to run the football. They want to eliminate some possessions probably by their opponent by staying on the field and having time of possession.
I noticed they slipped a little bit more. I don't know if there's something you can practice on this week. Have you practiced on anything this week involving a wet ball?
We did. We practiced on Friday when it was raining, so it naturally just happened. And then on Thursday, we intentionally, it was not raining out, but every snap we had a wet ball with it. And so, I think what we tried to stay away from some of the perimeter run game because we were worried about losing our footing, so we tried just to get the ball downhill a little bit more tonight than maybe what we were used to.
That explains why you guys look more comfortable out there with the elements. But in terms of the quarterback, just what more do you want to see from Carson Conklin?
Just continue to go through his progression, hit the open guys. Just take a deep breath sometimes. Young guy wants to make big plays, and I get it. We all do, right? We all want to make the play that changes a game, but just take what the defense gives you, live to play another down.
Thanks, Coach.
Probably great to see Arsenault bust one like that.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, you talk about a senior, has tremendous value, not just from the running back room, but a great leader on our football team. Has a ton of value. Broke the team down just a second ago in the locker room, and fun to see him get his moment there tonight.
It occurred to me late in that game, you could have maybe just run the ball in that last drive, kick the field goal. Was there value in getting Carson the touchdown?
Well, it wasn't necessarily. Here was my concern. You kick a field goal, they block it, they pick it up, and they return it for a touchdown. Now they're down by 1 score, and it becomes really, kind of a dicey game, especially when you're dealing with footballs that have been waterlogged all game. And so let's continue to move the ball. Let's continue to operate. They're calling timeouts. They feel like they're still in it. Well, let's get another touchdown. Great, pitch and catch and big time, by Josiah there in the end zone.
And it seems like it's all year long, preseason all-conference player, but, AZ is just, continue to play.
He did. Tremendous, talented young man. Has a lot going on in this world right now. I couldn't be more excited for him. And, he's a steady player back there. Can make plays, can cover everybody. Great leader for us as well.
Coach, your defense has been pretty consistent throughout the season. What has impressed you most about the way they played that?
I think the consistency, right? You're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, and sometimes that in itself can be a circus, right? To get them to believe in what you're doing and do the right thing and continue to buy in. But these guys are very mature. They're handling it. I think the fact that we're playing a lot of people, we get a lot of people engaged in our meetings. Everyone's hungry. I saw a couple young guys. Mordecai Hines out there, number 89, make some plays. We had Logan Goodspeed make a couple plays out there. Fun to see. Andre Cobb made a big play at the end on 4th down. I mean, those snaps right there are invaluable for us to continue to develop as a football team. And I'm talking long term too. Those things have value for next year's group and all that stuff.
Coach, noticed that you played Ramirez and Arsenault a lot on 1st down, which we haven't necessarily seen previously. Explain what's going on there.
Just trying to take advantage of our talent. We have a deep running back room. And so, I think trying to identify different ways that we can utilize those guys, have multiple backs on the field. I think you saw a lot of 21 tonight, where we had 2 backs on the field, sometimes Speedy lined up as a receiver, motion through. When number 2 motions, everyone on defense knows where he's going. And it pulls a lot of eyes out of the fit, and so it allows our other backs to have some good runs downhill.
And what did you see on the Arsenal run?
Well, it was misdirection, popped it outside. Again, had motion by Speedy coming through, everyone over kind of bumped or rocked their coverage. We hit it out the back door. And then again, Jonathan showed great speed and the ability to stay in bounds and finish in the end zone.
Coach, throughout the year, you've talked about wanting to get all 3 levels of the team together on the same page.
Yep.
Did you see that tonight?
I think at moments, I'm probably too much of a perfectionist to say that we've got there. I think there's always elements of things that we can continue to improve. We're going to continue to play really good football teams in the last 2 regular season games, and so we'll address some areas. I'll get a sit down in the morning and watch all 3 phases and probably come up with some thoughts and maybe some areas that we need to address in practice or in meeting time.
And then last question, when you came here, you really drilled in the idea of toughness wins. Was tonight
Yeah.
a game that you really saw that in
I think
this
we
environment?
did. I think you know the answer to that, right? 220 yards rushing, time of possession. Yep, I agree. Now, can it be better? It sure can. I'm not satisfied. We're not where we want to be, but 7 wins is a good starting spot. We got opportunity to win a couple more this year. Tomorrow morning, we'll dive into Utah State. All right,
Congrats,
thank you.
Coach.
You bet. Go get a shower, dry up.